And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Fighting Fit Show. It's going to be back in the studio doing a session or doing a podcast with Chris and Brandon. Today's podcast is going to be centered around the topic of how to not lose the battle of the scales, or how not to let your results in the scales each week get inside your head and can really affect your motivation, how you feel. But before that, I just want to plug the new meals that we've got in stock. So we've started stocking the Pro Performance Nutrition meals. These are now available to get at Fighting Fit. You can get a healthy day deal, 2 meals and a snack or a protein drink for €15, 5 meals for €30 or 10 meals for $5.50. So if you're in a rush, if you don't have time to cook, if nutrition keeps being that thing that's stopping you from getting the results that you want and or deserve, could be a great investment for yourself to make for your lunches and dinners throughout the week. So now that's done, guys. So basically the kind of stimulus for this podcast was an experience I had during the week, and again, it's not that this person is the only person I've ever experienced with this, because it is quite a common occurrence. So let's call the person Joe. It's not Joe Malloy, by the way. So let's call this person Joe, and let's say basically this person had signed up just under 2 weeks ago, so this week could come to the end of their second week. They've been doing really well. They've come from a place like most people have. They've come from a place, especially with lockdown, they've come from a place where the eating habits have been completely gone out the window. Exercise is a long forgotten memory, and they're getting back into the routine. They're eating much better. They're exercising. He steps in the scales. It's not the kind of result that they wanted, or it wasn't 5 pounds lost in a week or something ridiculous like that. And it gets inside their head. It makes them feel like everything they've done so far is worthless. That's a waste of their time. Blah 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 blah. And they let that affect the rest of their day. They let that affect the rest of the week. And in this podcast, we want to kind of talk about that mindset overall, and just to help people who gets bogged down in that, help them overcome it, and give them some information to reframe that, to help them get over it a little bit better the next time. Because what people like that need to remember is your job when you come in here to assess your progress every week is to look for the wins. We want you to look for the wins. What does that mean? That means when you step on them scales, it's like, right, this is only one part of the progress that I'm looking for. All right? We're
ready.
We're
Tell
intrigued.
us, Steve. Tell us.
That's only one part of the journey. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we too easily dismiss the fact that I'm after exercising 5 times that week. The fact that I'm after, following the nutrition plan 5, 6, even 70, 80, 90%, even if it wasn't perfect, it's better than what it was. Mm-hmm. You're making progress. You know what I mean? I'm after being mindful of my steps each day. I'm after 10,000 steps plus every day. Blah 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 blah. The list goes on and on and on.
Or if you haven't, it's like that's one of the things that will be addressed when you say to the coach, "Oh, I haven't hit my weight." It was like, why?
Exactly.
Let's talk about it, not in a way where it's like you're a bad person, you're a terrible client. It's like every single person has different things that they'll struggle with, and it's like you need to find out what they are, and a weigh-in is just an indicator for that. It's an indicator for progress. That's why when people skip the weigh-ins or avoid the scales, because of the negative emotion that they already assume is going to be on the scales, well then I forget what I was going to say.
Well, what I would just like to inject on that and just to add that is like, it never happens that people don't weigh in consistently and they pop in a month later and all of a sudden it's a better result.
That's
when
exactly
when people stick their head in the sand and they don't face the scales or don't face the numbers again. And what we're here to say is, I'm here to say today, like, the scales are not the be all and end all. It's one small part of how you can measure overall progress. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it can be a good indicator. If you're overweight or obese and you've got a couple of stone to lose, the weight should be chipping, and we should be chipping away at the weight. You know what I mean? The weight, depending on several factors. So depending on, especially this guy that we're talking about, he's after been training like a beast for the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Eating his protein, doing 4, 5, 6 even sessions, back playing football and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like he maybe gained a little bit of muscle over the last couple of weeks. Maybe he's kind of got this whole muscle memory thing kicking in, or maybe gains, and his body quite receptive to the strength-based program that we're doing. And he's added some muscle while he's lost some fat. So although the scales didn't show progress, if he had the mindset, oh no, I've done everything right. I followed the diet plan as best I could. I've done the workouts, I ate the food, I drank the water, done the steps, blah blah blah. It's like, I'm now going to look for another way I can look for the win. So instead of letting the scales get me down, what I'm going to do is, let's get the measuring tape out. Let me check my waist and hips. let's get the pictures. But again, what happened was we asked this person, oh, did you do that? Did you take a picture like you were asked? No. Did you do the measurements? No. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's just too focused in on the scales. It's the one. And again, if your motivation is tied into them scales, your motivation will constantly be up and down because weight fluctuates for a number of different reasons. Anybody watching on YouTube here will see kind of the fat and the muscle that we have here on the table. You know what I mean? So it's like we want to lose fat. We can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Again, especially if you're new. If you're new. If you're in more intermediate and advanced, muscle gains are hard gains because you got to work hard for them. You got to really push yourself. You got to get the volume. You got to eat the protein. You got to get the recovery. But for a lot of new people starting out that have never really done stuff like this, or it's been a long time, muscle memory is a thing. Your body will kick back in action. You might get a little bit soft 100%. And pudgy, but your body will harden up and tighten up over the first couple of weeks. If you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing.
But a point that I think we should make very, very clear is that there's so many factors in your weight day to day. Like this bottle of water for everyone watching on YouTube is 750 milliliters of water. That weighs 0.75 of a kilogram. So it's like if you step on the scales and you're, let's say, 73 kilos, okay, and then you go drink 750 mils of water, you'll be 73.75 kgs in weight, and it's 100%. Like you have not gained any weight. You've not gained any fat. Sorry.
Exactly, because fat loss and weight loss are two completely things. We're not here to lose weight. Are you a fighter? Are we getting ready for a weigh-in? Do we have the cup water weight? Are you a wrestler? Any of these kind of weight classification sports? All right, then we might have to worry about dropping the weight. And because I've done it, we've done it a lot. You know what I mean? Then we're looking at cutting water weight. But another kind of caveat of the situation is, again, this guy told me because I was playing football last night. I come home, I had a late dinner. So he had a late dinner the night before, and I didn't go to the bathroom before the weigh-in.
There you go.
It's like he still had a lot of food in the system. He didn't eliminate whatever he had in the system before the weigh-in. Whereas I remember he did that the week before. I remember before doing his weigh-in last week. I remember seeing him go into the toilet. I was like, maybe I should say that to him because that's something.
Weird that you noticed that.
The slim worlders kind of mindset. People who come here from slim world seem this mindset are always going to the bathroom before the weigh-in because again they want to be as light as possible because the scale is the only thing that matters when it's not. So I think that's just an important thing to know. If you haven't went to the bathroom when you're using weight as an indicator, it has to be at pretty much the exact same conditions every single week. So if it's early in the morning fasted, it should always be early in the morning fasted. If you had a few drinks the night before, you can still weigh in.
A few drinks the night before.
Yeah. But you should temper that and say, oh well, I had a few drinks the night before, and that's probably why. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the first step one is have a look at yourself. This kind of thing I was talking with Sabrina about the other day because she's reading the David Goggins book. It's like the accountability mirror. Have a look at yourself and say, did I do the things that I needed to do to get a good result? Like, do I even deserve a good result? You get some people going upstairs and do away, and it's like, you don't deserve a good result because you didn't follow the diet plan. You know what I mean? You didn't do the workouts. You didn't do the steps, and you're here. You're only coming in with your fingers crossed, hoping for the best.
I paid the money.
Yeah, but it's like you didn't do the work. Yeah. You know what I mean? You didn't do the work. You have to ask yourself question number one: do I deserve a good result this week?
That's one of the reasons why I actually love that David Goggins book so much. Is literally because he was so literally there was nothing special about anything he done except he just did an extraordinary amount of hard work, and that's it. It's like literally it's like we have a very simple philosophy here. Number one, the overall arching theme to kind of take out any guesswork and fingers crossing is number one, know your numbers. Do you know your numbers? If you don't know your numbers, don't even step onto the scales. Focus on your numbers this week. Focus on actually paying attention to steps, calories, and workouts. It's like once you get that done, then we'll start talking about the scales because now we can make an educated decision. Because basically, if we do not know your numbers and you've got your weights up, your weights down, well then again, it's all guesswork. You know what I mean? It's fine, for guesswork, and it's fine if you think you're down, you think you had a good week. It's brilliant. It's like it's better to know. It's better to think than to know. And then next up would be it's like I said, it's just hard work. It's literally like you said. It's like if you're obese, and most of our clients are obese or at least for the most part very overweight, and it literally is a case is like every day there should be a weight drop. Every single day until you're a woman and you hit your cycle, something will change, and after that it's like you should literally be losing 0.2 every single day of the week. Simple. You know what I mean? And if it's not,
it depends on the deficit. Yeah, but you can't see progress every day. And that's another thing because when people get into a good mindset with the scales, like there's a really good study that shows like one of the key things. One of the key behaviours that actually helps people keep the weight off long term is almost daily weigh-ins.
Yeah, that was my next suggestion. I was like if you check your weight every single day, the big hype job that you have about stepping on the scales, it sort of disappears. It's like you do it before you brush your teeth.
It's good.
What emotion do you have when you brush your teeth? zero emotion. It's like the scales are the same. You're just checking your weight. You're like, oh, how's my hair look today? Do you know, it's like,
what's
well,
my
actually,
weight
some
like?
people freak out about their hair.
But it's just like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. I wonder what it is. Oh, maybe I had a big meal yesterday. Maybe I'm super hydrated. And again, but
Maybe you go to the bathroom.
what people do is, but on the flip side of that, a lot of people give themselves too much credit sometimes. It's like, oh, I'm doing 4 pounds this week, and they think it's all of a sudden because we're some sort of superhero. So when they didn't really do anything to deserve 4 pounds of weight loss, but if they're giving themselves a pat on the back, and now if the weight goes back a little bit, you know, maybe if I gain a pound back next week, but it's maybe because you didn't drink any water the day before.
Yeah.
You're a little more dehydrated than usual, or maybe you skipped a meal, or blah 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 blah. And you're not food in your system, or you have say like a big heavy meal like steak and stuff that takes a long time to eliminate from the system. You know what I mean? Because another caveat of that story, and again, it's not, and again, really just want to emphasize, like, not going all in this person. It's just the mindset, because it's something that we see a lot. It's something that we see a lot.
So
very very common. Because the fact is that person's whole week was you know, in a sense, in his mindset, ruined because of that.
Yeah.
Two things to point out. One, that wasn't actually his weighing day, so that was just a little extra weighing he wanted. Oh, I just want to jump on the scales just to see what it's like. You know what I mean? So it's like, if that's your mindset around it, don't bother doing more than one weigh in a week. That whole thing with the daily weigh-ins is like, if you've got a pretty casual mindset around weigh-ins, you know what I mean? Every daily weigh-ins or whatever I would recommend. I think it's good to step on the scales. Oh, boom, because you get to notice the patterns in, and how does my weight fluctuate based on days of the week and my cycle, blah blah blah, which is interesting. Yeah, but just before I forget, and the second thing was, he was on pace to reach his goal.
Yeah.
You know, he was on pace to reach his goal. He lost. So this is according to, he'd been here 2 weeks. He so far lost 2.2 kilograms, which is 1.1 kilos each week. So he's on pace to lose the 14 pound goal that we see. It was like, you know, maybe 2 or 3, even 5% ahead of schedule or ahead of pace. You know, so he'd already lost 2.2 pounds, or no, 2.2 kilos. Sorry, which would be 4.5, 5 pounds. But because he'd done that extra weigh-in, now he's demotivated. When he was on pace, he was doing the workouts, he was following the meal plan, he was doing the steps. I'm even back playing football, blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, you know what I mean? Like, don't let that one tiny part of the thing like really throw you off. Don't let that get inside your head.
Yeah, but I suppose the big thing is understanding it's kind of like, it's the lifestyle factors that you're after changing, it's the energy that you're after getting from doing all this kind of stuff that is going to over the long term. And this is the thing that people are doing. So let's say, for talk's sake, he weighed in on Monday and now it's Thursday, and essentially it's like, if Monday to Thursday is where your goals at, or what your time frame is, it's like, you know, it's like you're never going to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, you're never you're
expecting to see big progress between Monday and Thursday. It's like you don't understand how much your expectations are way off.
Exactly, and
expectation is the thief of joy.
And let's talk in terms of education, because generally it's like we're doing this a while now, and I'm still learning things, and you know, we're always kind of updating our mindset and, you know, our kind of attitude towards things. And it really is a case where it's like, look, for anybody who doesn't know, it's like, you need to play a 6-month game to lose 3 stone. You know what I mean? Because we believe here that until you maintain your result, like, you actually haven't gotten that result. You can't claim that result as your own, because that's just a temporary result. It's like, have you a lifestyle of somebody who is 3 stone less than where you are? And if not, if you don't have that lifestyle, well then the results just aren't gonna maintain themselves. And as I said, it's like that. As we said before, it's like the weight is just a reflection of lifestyle. You know what I mean? So it's like, now you're back playing football. That's brilliant. That's a win. You know, it's like, now you're tracking your food, and you've stopped eating, you know, crisps every single day. You've stopped eating chocolate bars every single day. You've stopped drinking now 4 nights a week. It's like that, right? Perfect. Now hold the line. You know what I mean? Hold that line now for another 4 weeks, and I guarantee you can get a result. And this is where one of the reasons I really do believe that people need a coach, because and not only a coach, but social proof. It's like, look guys, if anybody's feeling demotivated, go on to our Facebook page and look at all the positive stories that we've had. It's like, this program works, so have faith in that. You know, it's like 100%. There's no guesswork in this anymore. You know, so we've figured out the science. You don't need to guess. You don't need to go, oh, is this not working? This worked. We have proof that it works, so stick with it, and we will literally give you your money back at the end if it doesn't work. We are literally that confident. So, you know, don't be demotivated, don't be disheartened, because this works. You know what I mean? So hold the line.
But one of them, because you were there, and one of them was disheartening things in that situation. Is, oh, cool, let's do the measuring. Let's pull out the measuring tape. Let's see the progress photos. I was like, oh, I don't have them. Now you have to take my word for it. Whereas I could have said, no, you've lost 4 inches.
Yeah, good point.
You've lost 5 inches.
So
it's so important that if you haven't taken your photos. Take the photos, but we don't post them on social media. That's not what we're about. We don't care. Like, I'm not here to share pictures.
Unless you're super proud of it.
Unless if you want to, I would love to, because again, I think it's inspiring. It motivates people. It can be fantastic if they're genuine before and after photos that aren't doctored or what's just kind of exaggerated or whatever. Again, it's amazing. It's because it is amazing. If you're happy to do it, we'd love to share it again. But I encourage you.
We actually do have a load of bloody before and afters that are just on the.
They're just on the app, but they're private. They're private and personal people. You know, because I know what I would not like to be used when I define what I define as my worst to then be, you know, used all over social media as a marketing tool. I just don't think it's a cool thing. I'd rather get you on camera. We started doing like podcasts, something. I'd rather have a chat and have a conversation and delve into your experience, and you can tell people why it worked and tell people, you know, what your experience is like, blah blah blah. Because it makes it more relatable, and it gives it just more depth.
Yeah, well, I think for us, anyways, we have got a history of dealing with people who are obese, and it's literally because like you don't need to take your clothes off to be able to see the difference. For most people, like I literally can. People walk into the gym and I can see the difference with their clothes on. But I think, you know, for some people who like are a lot leaner, it's like, yeah, in that case you need to strip down in order to see the difference.
Yeah,
because
the more skin you show, the more you're going to be able to see, the more progress you're going to be able to see. For some people, tightly fitted or just tightly fitted clothes is enough. But for a lot of people, like if you take it, it's like just but even if it's like drawing a line in the sand and saying, like, you know, a lot of people don't take the pictures because they're so embarrassed and so ashamed of where they are. Which I get that, and I've been there. You know,
what's the attitude to take with that?
So the attitude is like, now I want to change that. So it's like I'm drawing a line in the sand. Now this becomes point A, and I'm now working towards changing that, and I'm working towards making them after photos or them progress photos better than that one.
I'd say.
But I also it's now we're comparing you to you. Now we're comparing Chris to Chris, Brandon to Brandon, Mary to Mary, Joe to Joe. You know, you're comparing yourself to yourself. You're not comparing yourself to someone on Instagram and someone on Facebook and someone you've seen here, there, and everywhere. It's like, no, it's like that's what I looked like last month. This is what I look like this month. It's like, it's me to me, and how I look, my genetics, my body type, blah, 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 blah. And that's what's important. Is it better? Have I made progress? If you have, well done, high five. If you haven't, we need to have a look at the actions and behaviours that you've taken over that month, because again, that's what dictates the result.
There's also a thing that I say to loads of clients, like if they do, like they don't want to take the pictures, or they do have a bad way, and it's like they get a massive influx of negative emotion. It's like that negative emotion is motivation. Like that's actual motivation right there for you. Emotion. What does it Tony Robbins says? It's like emotion is motion or something.
Energy and motion.
Energy and motion. Do you get me? Even negative thing. It's like you can let it deflate you, or you can let it propel you forward. It's like it can weigh you down or lift you up.
Some of the greatest transformations ever occurred in all facets of life come from
rock bottom.
Rock bottom. So taking them pictures and saying, you know what it is? Fuck. I fucking let myself go. I let myself go. I am obese. People are afraid of these kind of.
They're afraid to say it.
They're afraid to say it. I am obese. I can't walk up the stairs without losing my breath. It's like, be honest and be real about your starting point. You need to tell the truth about where I'm at, and then use that pain to motivate you. Pain can get people going.
Do you know what response I get from like so many people who come here when I say, "Oh, take your progress photos," like themselves about themselves? I'm like,
that's not a good way to think.
You need to make a fucking change today. You need to go home and take that photo, because that is disgusting. You let yourself away with speaking to yourself like that. Like the fact that you can describe your body as and then not go and do something about it. It's like that's an issue. You know, that's an issue. And I think the key piece to changing that is taking the bloody photo, having a real look at yourself in the mirror, and going like genuinely, right? If you are making yourself sick by looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not doing something about it, that's what you need to work on. You don't need to work on the fact that you're ridiculously overweight. You need to work on the fact that you can describe something as sickening to yourself and then not do anything about it. That's what needs to change. Because if you are literally walking around, that you're essentially, your house is on fire, you are just not looking at it all day. It's like
you're still trying to fix the toaster.
Yeah, you're just like, I took it off. Yeah, I know it's rotten, but you know it's terrible that thing's happening. But
there's actually a cool. If you look at the taking the pictures as like an actual ritual sort of process, not like a daily ritual, as in like a symbolic sort of ritual. It's like if you do it, it means you're willing to assess the damage that is done. So the first thing, or where you're at, you're willing to look. So it's like you go in and you look at where you're at. When you do that, you actually have an honest sort of experience. There's something transformative about that actual experience. And if you go take the pictures, like genuinely be like boom, and not sucking in and tensing the camera and just like, let's see what it is. and do it like in an objective sort of way. But when you do it, you have when you look at it, it's like there's a realization that happens, and then you've an option to either repress it or accept it. And if you accept it, then you've no choice but to actually have a psychological little transformation where like, okay, I need to do something about this, and that shifts it. And that's why I think taking the progress photos is so important, because you commit by taking the photos. You commit to the process. It's literally like the first step in the process, and you're like, okay, this is step 1, point 1.
I think it's like for me when I see people doing it, it's like I know you're all in.
Yeah,
I know you're all in. I know you took the pictures and this, and I appreciate that was probably difficult. Yeah. But now I know you're all in.
Love that.
You're willing to say like, boom. They said I've drawn a line in the sand today. That's your map. Let's move forward.
I'm at least willing to accept where I'm at.
Yeah.
Step 1 of fixing the problem. Admit there's a problem. Take note of the problem.
Honestly, the whole AA thing is like that's literally step 1 for overcoming any addiction or overcoming any serious problem. Is like you have to admit there is a problem. So we usually kind of keep again this mindset of put my head in the sand, not looking at it, don't look at it. You know what I mean? Same with the weighing, same with all the stuff. It's like you gotta objectively look at the data. You know, and this is even things like Fitbits and tracking calories. People just want to just keep everything vague and foggy, so they don't want to take ownership for the results.
As soon if I'm coaching someone, as soon as they get hesitant about showing information or anything like that, you know they're not in the process. You know they're not doing it. They're not committing. As soon as there's like a tendency to leave it vague and foggy, that's like a red flag for a coach. It's like, why don't you want to tell me the actual answer? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like what do you avoid? What are you dancing around?
Because when we look at the action behaviors, and a lot of these metrics are very measurable. Especially like when I say something on the phone, is like, you know, to lose weight, we diet and we live an active lifestyle, aka maybe, you know, the steps, your activity points or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like we diet and we do the activity points. In the gym, we're here to get fitter, faster, stronger. That's what we're here in the gym to have more energy, to move better. But it's like you don't exercise to lose weight, and that's the saddest part with so many people. Is like. And this is why so many people rebound, or one of the many reasons people rebound is because I only exercise to lose weight. When I'm losing weight, when I want to lose weight, that's the only time I exercise. I don't exercise because I want to feel better. I don't exercise because I want to be stronger. I don't exercise because I want to be fitter. I only exercise because I want to lose fat because I'm not happy with my body. So once we, again, even in the scenario where we are successful and we do hit our goal, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, my reason to exercise is over, so I'm not going to exercise. That whole routine now goes out the window. So now all of a sudden, logically now, my weight is going to start creeping back up because I'm amid that 500 extra calories I was burning every day. You know, probably because I'm not losing weight, I'm not as strict on my calories and my nutrition or whatever. So my weight's creeping back up, and now all of a sudden I've gained that stone back. Now I've got motivation to exercise, so I start exercising again. I lose the weight, blah blah blah. Oh, lost my motivation again, blah blah. That's why, like, when we kind of deal with clients, it's like, let's set a body composition goal. Obviously, listen, most people want to lose weight. We've got to meet people where they're at. Because if I'm just saying, like, you know, it's a hard sell. Just say, oh no, let's just exercise to be strong and feel good. They're like, no, I want to lose weight because I fucking hate myself. It's like, okay, fair enough. So let's start with that. We'll help you lose some weight, but at the same time, let's also have a little look at a fitness goal. Oh, listen, do you want to maybe run a 5k? You know, how about maybe get back playing football or playing rugby, or maybe listen, would you like to be able to do 10 push-ups? Would you like to be able to run up the stairs or play with the kids or whatever? You know, let's have a more fitness-oriented goal, so it's not always about weight loss, so that when we come in and when it does happen, because it always happens when you don't lose weight 1 week for whatever reason, probably because you drank a load of water, had a big meal or whatever it was.
Didn't go to the bathroom.
But now we can look and we can say, oh, but still, well done, that progress towards that 10 push-ups. I see you're on 7, 8 push-ups now. You can only do 2 when you started. Remember that?
You're using the 12.5s instead of 10 kg dumbbells. Yeah. Oh, unreal.
Remember last week when you got a new PB in your 5k? Boom, we're like, oh yeah, because I'm not just here to lose weight. It kind of helps you reframe it.
Oh, geez, your posture's improved.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, that I find is, like, people generally only do, I find people in general, and I'm making a generalization here, obviously. It's like people don't do stuff that they don't want to do, you know. So people genuinely only do stuff that they want to do or that they like, you know what I mean?
That's the number one bit of advice for any sort of program that you're going to do is, like, if it's the same, if you don't, sorry for interrupting, by the way, okay. If you don't like it, you will stick with it for as long as your willpower is. And, like, there's some people with loads of willpower. Brandon has fucking loads and loads and loads of willpower. He'll do something he hates for ages, but until there'll be a point where maybe you have a fight with the girlfriend, or, you know, you're tired and underslept because you partied tonight. It's like, as soon as you lose that motivation, it's like you're done. You're not going to do it. But if you enjoy it, if it's something that you really like to do, you'll be like, oh, I know I'm tired, but I love it. I can't wait to go. So, you know, it's
kind of also even with the boxing session. So it's like, you
tricked me the other morning.
We've been agreeing where we have to do the weight session, but then we get to do boxing after. So it's like, listen, I like weights. It's good. I don't not like it, but it's like the thought of doing it is always hard and actually showing up and doing it.
Bed.
Exactly, when it's early in the morning, blah blah blah. what you do is like, oh, I'll go to the boxing or do the weight session because then I get to do the boxing afterwards. So it's like you get that little reward, or whatever.
Yeah, and for me it is a case whereby what you need to do is you need to start working on the ability to like overcome that lack of willpower. You know what I mean? That's like the discipline aspect of things. It's like, you can't always just do things when they feel nice. It's too wishy-washy. You know what I mean? It's like you should definitely have a hobby, and you should definitely have a hobby that's physically active, and that way it's going to take the sting out of it as well. But there should also be something set up in your life to basically make sure that there's something in your week, hopefully every single day, if not 5 days a week, that you don't enjoy doing, that you make and force yourself to do, and that eventually, like you said, like stepping on the scales, that eventually it doesn't even register. You know what I mean? Like, for talk's sake, it's like if you get up on day one of this program, and we've had so many people say, and I actually, one of my favorite things is when somebody I seen struggled is now giving somebody else the advice of, oh, don't worry about it, just stick with it because it gets easier. You know what I mean? It's actually not that hard. Whereas, I remember, like, we had somebody here, they gave that advice, and I remember their first session, 10 minutes in, they cried and left. You know what I mean? Like, it really is a case of, like, it's so difficult from the jump, but it's like if you stick with it after a while, it's like you get thick skin. You know what I mean?
But in that scenario, it's like all you can do is your best.
That's it.
Literally all you can do is your best.
But here's the thing about it is if
all that person can do is 10 minutes, it's like that's a good start.
But here's the thing about it, and here's where I find people really struggle. They know that all they can do is their best, but the ability to give your best can be very difficult. Yeah. You know what I mean? And generally, I really do find, like, everybody who comes, I think I've had 3% of people who came here did not come in and show their best. It's never a case of coming in and genuinely have to push someone. It's like everybody pushes themselves in the right atmosphere. It's the fear of pushing themselves through the pain and undergoing and enduring that pain. People are terrified of. It's the same thing of, like, eating a salad, of foregoing the Chinese, of going out and going for the walk.
Going out in the sober.
Yeah, this is it. It's like it's the ability to go through that little bit of pain that people really struggle with, and that's a big thing for your whole health and fitness journey. And just like Wayne, and just to kind of bring it 360, is like stepping onto the scale and getting a negative result is going to be part of this. You know what I mean? A negative result, sorry guys, air quotes. You know what I mean? It's like it's not necessarily negative, but it might not be down. It might be up. It might be the same, and you might have done the work, and that's just going to be part of it. And the ability to take that on board and not let it throw a tantrum essentially for yourself, let it skew your entire mindset. It's like your ability to do that is going to be very, very important to get some thicker skin. David Goggins says gator skin is what you're going to need. You're going to need to be able to be called fat on your fat journey by yourself, even to be able to look yourself in the mirror and go, you know what it is, I'm not overweight, I'm fat. You know what I mean? I'm fat. And to be able to say that to yourself and to not like
call yourself, I've got a bit of a belly. It's you're obese.
Yeah, to call yourself lazy. It's like, why didn't you get up and go, because I was tired? You're not tired, you're lazy. You know what I mean? Tired, like we're all tired. I am tired at the end of a day of work. It's like, but the ability to not then do a workout, that's laziness. You know what I mean? And to be able to kind of just be that, and again, it's not out of cruelty, it's because the world is tough, the journey you're going on is tough, so you're going to have to start, toughening yourself up, just a little bit of grating every single day, saying these words that maybe are a little bit triggering to you, to toughen yourself up, and then after a while, it's like a callus that builds up on your hands, your feet, you're going to be tougher, it's not going to hurt you the next time, and that's the kind of thinking behind it.
Yeah, so true, because what's it's just so I touched on it earlier, this whole expectation is the thief of joy. It's like this person that we're talking about, they kind of got this conversation going, which is thank you for, because again, it's just important that when you're struggling with it, lots of other people are struggling with it too. So it's not, so that's actually a blessing in disguise that we're sitting and have this conversation. So hopefully now somebody who needs to hear this is going to hear it today. This guy had lost this much. Anyone on the YouTube, I'm holding 5 pounds of fat.
And hopefully, probably gain a couple
of these.
Or at least one.
At least one. In a couple of weeks, he probably would have. But it's like, he lost this in 2 weeks and he was disappointed. Yeah. And that is why I hate the shitty fitness marketing out there. Lose 10 pounds in 10 days or lose fucking, 3 stone in 6 weeks or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? It's like, he lost this much, so you just got to manage your expectations and realise that if you lose one of these, if you lose one of these every week, that is a solid proof. That's as much as you can almost expect if you want to live a decent lifestyle and not absolutely fucking be chained to your fitness journey. If you want to have other shit going on too,
And again,
a pound or two a week is an incredible result. So you got to make peace with that. Stop looking for 3, 4, 5 pounds a week and stop only doing it if I'm going to lose 5, 10 pounds. Don't stop saying it's not worth it if it's not 5 pounds. A pound is worth it. A pound is worth 5 workouts a week. It's worth doing the steps. It's worth eating healthy because you need it, because you know where you are now, you're not happy with where you are, and it's the skills, it's the foundations, it's the education. You know, this is what's gonna change you in the long term. The weight loss is so fickle. You know what I mean? Go out, you know yourself, go out, have a weekend off, get a Domino's, couple of drinks with the guys, you know what I mean, and Chinese. You know, one weekend. It's very, very common for a lot of people to squeeze all that in one weekend. So it's like you could gain 3-4 pounds. So it's like, stop being so fickle about it. You know what I mean? You got to be in it for the long term. So you got to flip that mindset.
And that's the key. And here's the thing about it is because, and you have like this is where you have to understand people. If you're in it for 12 weeks and you have 3 stone to lose, you need to lose 5 pounds a week. You know what I mean? And this is why we said earlier on, you can't be in this for a short term. If you have 6 or 4 or 3 or 2 stone to lose, it's like a pound. There is not many people out there who could lose a pound of fat every single week for a year and not be nearly finished.
Yeah, 100%. And this is not sexy, and this is not the easy sell, because you could use marketing, you could fucking, you know, you could sell people the dream. If you, whatever weight you have to lose. Say you have to lose, say, 50 pounds. Divide that by 2. Because that's what you can lose every week. So that's going to take 12.5 weeks, and then double it, because then you have to at least maintain the weight for the same amount of time it took you to lose the weight. So that's, again, a 6-month journey. If you want to lose 20 pounds, that's a 6-month journey, because realistically, if you're losing more than 2 pounds a week, the deficit is too much. You know what I mean? You're not going to be performing. Again, it's possible and people have done it, but it's not. In my opinion, it's not a good way to do it.
Well, it's the bounce back rate. Sorry, the bounce back rate for someone who loses weight quickly is like, it obviously bounces back a lot quicker.
It's the bounce back weight is crazy.
Here's what I was going to say anyway, exactly, right on to that. Guys, here's the even unsexier sell, is that even if you lose it in 6 months, you maintain it for another 6 months, you can gain it all back again in another 6 months. I have literally sat here and watched top class clients, like literally A students, fall into a rut and gain it all back over a period of 6 months, and I'm like, cool, now we're back where we started, because you gave up the lifestyle.
But now we're starting from experience, which is still a win. Because it's a very similar conversation with a client this morning, who had gained back a lot of the weight that they lost. But it's like, yeah, we're not starting from zero. Now we're starting from experience.
Yeah.
You know, so you can, again, you win or learn. You win or you take the experience into the next journey. So the key is get your head out of the sand. Stop making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting a different result, because that's the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? Like if it's not working, you need to change something. You need to be honest about your behaviors, and you need to maybe keep some sort of record that's going to keep track, because it's very easy to forget. What did I eat last Tuesday? What did I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Blah blah. Keep a journal. Use MyFitnessPal. Keep some sort of record. Use a Fitbit. See how active am I actually being. Hold yourself up to the fire. Look at yourself in the mirror and be honest about, right, do I deserve a good result? And just to kind of wrap this whole thing up, you know, make sure going forward that you're not relying on one method to assess your progress. That, you know, we're tracking some sort of fitness metrics where you're doing 5Ks, you're lifting weights, or, you know, you're tracking the sets and reps. It's on some level, so you can see there's progress beyond the weight loss too. And if you are here for body composition and that is your main focus, which is fair enough, which is, you know, is great. It's like weight, body fat, measurements, pictures. Don't rely on one method. If you rely on one method, you're in for trouble. You know what I mean? You really are in for trouble, because there's
too many factors.
There's too many factors, but the window for success is so small, because we're channeled in on one thing. Whereas, give yourself more opportunities to win.
Sorry, but if you're going, it's like, even if you're going to focus in on one metric, the scales is the wrong one metric. The pictures should be metric.
Yeah, because you want to look better. It doesn't matter. And again, I'm more and more people are starting to switch on it, because when I have conversations, I was like, oh, how much weight would you like to lose? I'm like, oh, I don't really that concerned about the weight. It's more about how you look and feel. I'm like, boom, you're a winner. It's like, yeah, we're in that mindset here, but at the same time, you lose 3 stone. The weight should move a little bit here as well.
No, not a little bit.
Yeah, because that's another thing. That's actually
you're not going to lose. You're not going to gain 3 stone of muscle.
That's another thing. Yeah, I have another one for that. It's basically like people are like, oh, you know, it's like I just want to look and feel better, and then the scale's not moving. They're like, oh yeah, but
I hate the scales. I don't like the scales. Like, the scales is a reflection.
But generally, they've got 3 stone to lose, and the scales hasn't moved. It's like, oh yeah, but I'm feeling better. It's like, bro, come on. You know what I mean?
How much better would you feel if you lost that 2 stone and you dropped the weight?
You know, it's like that's not to say that you haven't been effective with your resistance training, your muscle tone's getting better, and your energy levels are increasing, but you're not losing the fat.
Yeah.
So there was one perspective that I wanted to get across here before, is that with the Kickstarter plan, one of the expectations that, like, as a realistic expectation, if you follow the plan to a T is that it's reasonable to expect 1 kilo weight loss a week. If you're around like a 70 kg average male, that's normal for that.
Obviously, you have to be overweight.
So, and one of the things that I see a lot is that people are like, oh no, I'm feeling a lot better, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if you are not losing that kilo a week, you are not following the plan 100%. You're not. And it's like, if you don't want to follow the plan 100%, it's fine. Just settle with less weight loss, which is absolutely fine. But if the scales aren't, maybe 1 week is fine. 2 weeks, okay. But 3 weeks in a row where it doesn't go down, it's like you do need to have a look at what you're doing. And that's that. Like, we use the scales not as like a be all and end all. Every single week you're a failure or you're a success, but over, let's say, a month, you can see the pattern where it's going. Like for some people, it will go down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Just like every single thing, like a clock, it will be exactly like that there. For some people, it will be down, 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 back up loads, and then down, 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 and then one more back up loads. Your weight fluctuates based on so many factors, and those factors are hydration, food,
hormones,
supplements like creatine, hormones, and whether or not you've been to the bathroom. Like, and it can, if you drink a liter of water, you'll be 1 kilogram heavier. If you had a really heavy carb meal the night before and you haven't worked out, or if you've worked out, weighed in, you'll be substantially lighter because you've just used all your glycogen stores, you've sweated out everything. So you weigh in after, and then you weigh in before your workout the next time. Like, you can have a difference of about 2 kilos even. And it's like, if you rely on the weigh-ins, all of those factors are taken into account, and it's like, you're not going to have the same sort of positive feeling when you step in the scales because it's going to be so erratic.
Some people weigh in heavier after working because they're after down under water.
Yeah,
exactly.
So just to wrap this up, guys, if you are winning, again, it has to be as consistent as humanly possible. It has to be the same time of day, same hydration status, same fit. If you're fasted, it'll be fasted. Fast is probably the easiest way because it's easy knowing you're fasted. It's like, because some days, like, different foods, there's different volumes that can connect to it. As Chris said, if it's carb heavy meal, you're going to hold more water, blah, blah, blah. So I recommend always weigh in fasted if you can in the morning. Same time of day, same time, and again, but just don't have all your motivation locked into that scale. You know what I mean? So be as consistent as you can with it, but look, as Chris kind of mentioned, look at the big picture, or even rather than week to week or day to day or every other day. It's like, see what's the overall trend this month? Because if we had that guy and kind of take that step back and look at the bigger picture, it's like, oh yeah, you've still lost like 4 or 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty good. But the problem is a lot of people are like, oh, 2 pounds a week, that's shit. It's like, come on, you need to re-educate yourself and see what a pound of fat really looks like. But anyway, and then at the same time, you need to have the measuring scale, the measuring tape. You got to track again key areas. One of the best indicators for health is the waist to hip ratio. That's one of the key areas. Everyone's trouble area really. That's the last place sort of fat to go. And to take them progress photos. If you are anti-progress photos, you need to take a look at yourself. You need to get honest with where you're at, and if you're not happy, you have all the power you need to change. You can change that if you want to change it. But again, to make that change, you got to first admit there's a problem, and again, a lot of people just need to reach out and ask for help. Anyone want to add anything up before we wrap it up?
100%.
Yeah, and guys, if anybody's any issues with anything that we said, or has any questions, comments, whatever, feel free to leave them below in the comment section, or reach out to us if you're a member, reach out to us on the app or the Facebook group. If you're not, maybe shoot us a message on Facebook, whatever, and we're happy to help you. Again, we're here to help people get the best results possible. But again, we can only give advice and feedback. You got to do the work. Okay. Thanks a minute for joining us, guys, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.